Hello, it's Greg Harrelson here with Century 21, the Harrelson Group in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and I just wanted to share some information that I think is very important for those that are thinking about buying real estate, either in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Charleston, South Carolina, North Carolina, or anywhere around the country. It's very, very important that you understand that you need to get a home inspection whenever you're purchasing a property. So let me just share some information about home inspections and why I believe it's critical that you get a home inspection. I do not buy a piece of property and close on a piece of property personally unless I have had a home inspection done by a licensed inspector. So I recommend the same to my clients. You know, number one here, I'm just thinking, just to give you some notes, is just because the home looks good, just because the condo looks good on the outside, doesn't mean it looks good on the inside. I mean, you got to understand, sometimes you'll see a fancy car and it's got a great paint job and it looks good, but you know what? Under the hood, the engine is destroyed because the owner never changed the oil. So it may look really good, but in the end, inside, it doesn't work. It's broken. And you'll never know that unless you bring in a mechanic to come in and inspect the property and give you an opinion. So buying real estate is the same way. You know, all around the country, you're dealing with things like moisture, mold, termites, maybe structural damage. You've got leaks in the roof, plumbing, electrical issues. There's so many things that can go wrong with a property. And trust me, I'm not trying to scare you. You should buy real estate. Buying real estate is a great way to build wealth for yourself over time. It's a great way to drive down your monthly cost of living because renting is typically higher than owning. But it's incredibly important to make sure that when you buy, you're responsible with your purchase, and that means get an inspection. The thing that I wrote down here in addition is I have to assume that you're probably not a licensed inspector. You're probably not qualified to identify all the issues that could be wrong with a property, you know, like an inspector can do. An inspector's got a trained eye to come in and look under the house, look in the attic, look around the sides of the house, really put all these little testers into the electrical outlets, make sure that the water temperature in that's coming through the pipes is at the right temperature. So you've got enough pressure. The heating and cooling system, making sure that it's working, that it's adequate. I mean, man, if you buy a property and you don't get an inspection and the heating and cooling system goes out a month after you buy the property, you realize that could cost you thousands of dollars, when a home inspection doesn't cost much at all compared to the value that you're really getting for the cost of the inspection. So you need a licensed inspector to be the eyes and to look at all this stuff because of this very reason. You have to get a home inspection because that is the last chance that you are going to have to negotiate any repair cost or repairs or repair allowances with the seller. If you don't get an inspection and you close on the property, and then you find out something's wrong a week later, you've lost your opportunity to renegotiate with the seller. And now I'm not telling you to go and do a deal with the seller and then renegotiate just because you're trying to get the property for a lower price. What I'm sharing with you is you need to get an inspection. So if there's a problem, you do want to open up and renegotiate the contract again and make sure that that $5,000 repair either comes to you in an allowance or you negotiate it so you share the cost so you can get the property repaired and avoid any unexpected cost that you might have after you purchase the property. It's one of the things that most people are annoyed with is they buy their property, they put their money down, they put their furniture in, and 2 weeks later they find themselves needing to invest another $5,000 in something they could have determined was wrong prior to closing. Once you close, you own the property, but you also own the problems if there's any problems with that property. So you must get a home inspection in order to determine if there's anything wrong with the property and then put yourself in a position to renegotiate some of those repair costs. I hope that information helps. I think you can see that I'm very adamant about you getting home inspections or property inspections, whether it's a home, whether it's a condo. It doesn't matter to me. It's just important that you know what you're buying so you don't buy a lemon. Greg Harrelson with Century 21, the Harrelson Group here in Myrtle Beach. If there's anything we can do to help you, I'd be glad to do that. Send me an email anytime. You know, you can look us up on Google. We're there. And then subscribe to this YouTube channel, because I'm constantly sending out some good buying and selling tips to make sure that the consumer is well informed and prevent you from making a mistake. So go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel now and let me know if I can do anything for you. Talk to you soon.